How's it going today, guys? Today I'm going to talk to you about why now is the best time to make any sort of change in our society and just to realize the amazingness of the abundance that surrounds us in our daily lives and why you should be grateful for that. So firstly, one should know that the innate abundance of our present time is extremely important. Now is the best time to be actionable because we have never been so blessed with the amount of things that surround us and that we can use at our disposal. Firstly, there's the resources aspect. So we essentially have a seemingly unlimited pool of resources. We've been able to use the abundance that surrounds us. The resources that are at our disposal is the fact that, especially in America, nobody's starving, truly. Nobody's really that hungry. There's no reason for not anybody in this country to be able to go out and find food for the cost that is way lower than those of our ancestors. We have these resources available to us only because of the efforts of those that came before us. So now is like a way for you to express gratitude for those before you, because you're able to show that you're going to utilize the resources that they fought so hard to protect and conserve. In addition to that, we also have an extensive communication pipeline. The fact that we can literally instantly communicate with anyone in the entire world, and to that extent to the astronauts in space, the fact that we are able to do this is a feat and a testament to the amazingness that the humans have brought upon this planet. Now, I know we probably should be using our communication way better than we currently are. Granted, there are a lot of awesome uses for it, but we should really understand the key importance of being able to communicate with literally anybody in the world. That's incredible. That's something that we should be taking advantage of on an hourly basis, the second basis, every moment that we're able to. We should be able to take the knowledge that we can communicate with anybody and see so many potential opportunities with that. Not only that, but this also transcends the language barrier with multiple ideas of different ways to translate languages as well as different interpretations of communication. We're able to communicate with more people now than at any point in history. In history, we can communicate with those outside of our immediate realm in ways that are both civil as well as effective. This is unprecedented. And thirdly, I'd like to kind of put in perspective the easiness of travel compared to, say, even 100 years ago. So if we look at today, we see people who complain about international flights being 16 to 20 hours of a mildly uncomfortable seat where you had to sit next to somebody that was also uncomfortable to be around. Oh, the horror. Can you imagine when people came over to America to settle here, they had to deal with months of sea voyaging. Not to mention, you were on a boat that was constantly rocking. There was an endless amount of diseases that plagued these people. And there were also so many times where mothers would have to literally toss their children overboard because they had died. That was just to get to America. That was just to be here. The essence of freedom, the essence of creating your own destiny really spoke to these people, and it motivated them to go forth despite all of the turmoil or the dangers that lied ahead. We should learn from this and be grateful that the most that we have to deal with are flight delays and smelly passengers. And lastly, this is kind of an essential part about resources that I'd like to mention. What is our greatest resource? It's time. This is the most valuable thing that we have to our disposal. In the past, time was typically not owned by the individual. Time was owned by others because in order to survive, you had to cooperate with other people, and sometimes, quite frankly, didn't want to. Granted, we have to do that now, but the time that is at our individual disposal is overwhelmingly clear. We have more time on our hands than we know what to do with. The essence and abundance of freedom has constricted our ability to know what to do with our time. That's why you see people constantly wasting time on social media, for instance, or getting caught up in the daily nitpicky things that life surrounds us with. We're missing the bigger picture here. If you zoom out, see how your time is so free. You could say that you have to work. Yes, as humans, we're subjected to toil and to work. That's just our nature. But think for a moment. The job that you're in is a blessing. The job that you are in is something that you're able to completely control. You're allowed to freely move jobs. You're allowed to freely move around the world and do whatever job you'd so please in peacetime. This is an incredible, incredible abundance of experiences. You should know that this is not the end. Knowing that this time that you have is not owned by anybody else but you. And it is what you make of it. Especially in the West. If there's something that you want to achieve, the only thing that's stopping you is you. We live in a time now where excuses and excuses and excuses are plaguing the minds of individuals. We found reasons and excuses why we shouldn't be actionable. I would say, a few hundred years ago, when your entire family was at risk of dying and you were under the tyranny of somebody else, I would say that's a relatively decent excuse why you shouldn't do some things. But even then, there were courageous individuals in our history who stood up to that tyranny. They stood up to the mountain of challenges that were in front of them. What is your mountain? It's you. The only thing stopping you from changing this world, from inventing, from creating, from bringing new life, not only human life, but creative energy into this world, is you. All of the resources are here. You have all of the time in the world. You're really able to freely associate with almost anybody that you'd like. Why aren't you using this? This is not to berate or belittle or put you down. But understand how important it is that you utilize this time. Because if you don't utilize this time and make it what you want it to be, somebody else will. Who are you going to live for? I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please feel free to send me any feedback in the comments below or send me an email at thesethvance@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.